I think he's vital to their success. The value of a good tight end is completely underrated in my mind. And the value of an outstanding tight end is incredible because it changes everything that you do coverage-wise. So you can't take the safeties and push them outside over the wide receivers because you've got to deal with this guy inside, in the interior. And then if you want to play man-to-man, you got to debate which safety you want to deal with. If you put down your quicker guy, you got a problem in the running game because Gronk is a complete tight end. If you put down your box guy, then you've got a problem in the passing game. So you're just rolling the dice as to how you're going to deal with them, and it opens up things offensively. So having that guy is huge. Now, have they won without him? Yes, they've won without him, but they've won without a lot of guys. Winning with him is a lot easier than winning without him.
There's a number of things that Gronk does that you can't see unless you are a football person, what he does for the offense. All right? They're using, since Chris Hogan's been out the last 2 games, what they're using is 21 personnel now. They're using more 2 tight end formations. And what Coach mentioned, Gronk, one of the reasons why he's the best tight end, now Travis Kelce, people might say, well, he's a bit, but Kelce's not as good of an end-of-the-line blocker as Gronk is. He makes it difficult for your safeties. The Patriots have identified the middle of the field as an area that they would like to throw the ball and strike to. It's easier when you have a tight end because he can get to the middle of the field better than wide receivers can. So also, when you go out and trade for a guy like Brandon Cook, because the tight end is on the strong side of the formation, especially Gronk. Even if they line up with 2 tight ends, he lines up on the strong side. Brandon Cook is a Z receiver. A Z receiver is the strong side of the field. So also you have one safety committed to Gronk. The other safety typically is going to cheat to the weak side to help out with the X receiver. So you have Brandon Cook, who's been in New Orleans, played in that offense, but Tom Brady and Gronk, he didn't have that effect in New Orleans. So you saw him running wide open against the Raiders last week. The reason why? He had single coverage. The safety couldn't help on his side. What Gronk does in the running game, you can't see that. I mean, because unless you have a football eye, I'm sure Coach would agree with me on that. So he does so many things that you can't see. Also, throwing the ball down the middle, it's hard to complete passes because you have to be a tough guy. And there's no receiver or tight end that has a bigger catch radius than Gronk does. Not only does he have a catch radius, being how far to a left and right, up and down, how big is that circle? Gronk is one of the biggest in the league, and he can take the physical pounding. So there's a number of things that Gronk that he does for New England that aren't on the stat sheet, but he's still one of the elite. Him and Kelce are the best 2 tight ends in the league in my book.
What else can you even add to that? I literally know everything about Gronkowski, how he plays, what he looks like, what he likes to read.
So here's the thing, not cat in the hat.
Gronk play football.
So here's the thing, that I understand that the Pats since 2013, with and without Gronk, they win 80% of their games without him, 78 with him. They actually average just slightly more yards per game without him than with him. And I don't think they need him on a week-to-week basis. I think that this year, if he'd been out 10 weeks, I mean, they're 8-2. It's hard for me to find a game like, oh, they didn't have Gronk, they would have lost that week. Maybe they're 7-3. But I will tell you where I do think they need him and where they will need him a couple times a season is the biggest games against the best opponents. And I will key on a moment that is, to me, forgotten to NFL history because the Pats lost the game. It's one of the greatest plays, highest leverage plays I've ever seen live. 4th and 10 AFC Championship game. Not the touchdown Gronk caught, which we're showing right here. That was, they were down 8 to the Broncos. This is 2 years ago, the year before they went to the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's a great play by Gronk, the touchdown. But the 4th and 10 from midfield, where he goes down the middle of the field, catches a 40-yard pass, minute 34 left. The game's over if they don't convert that. Brady has the confidence on a 4th and 10. I'm going to throw it 40 yards in the air in double coverage to Gronk. And then on 4th and 4, the play we were just showing you. Like, those 2 plays are forgotten because they lost the football game. But that was a game to go to the Super Bowl. They were down 8, should have been down 7. They'd missed an extra point. They ended up not getting the 2-point conversion. Broncos going to win the Super Bowl. You're going to have a moment like that against the Steelers in Week 15. You might have a moment like that against the Chiefs or the Steelers in the playoffs. In those spots, you need the elite players to make a couple elite plays. So I don't think they need Gronk on a week-to-week basis. And, Coach, I don't know about you, it seems to me like they try to protect him throughout the regular season. They don't send him in harm's way quite as often. Like, they know that they try to make sure he's healthy for the stretch run, the way they use him in the passing game, because I think the value of the upside of plays like that.
Okay, I don't think they protect him. I don't think they go into the game plan and say, we're only going to do this, we're only going to do that. The value of Gronkowski is lost in the plays that you don't see, like Chris was talking about, when he stays in to block, when he stays in to chip on key pass rushers, what he does in the running game. They're going to need those plays against the Steelers. They're going to need those plays in the playoff. And he's a complete tight end. Most tight ends we evaluate now in college football, they're receiving tight ends or they're blocking tight ends. It's very hard to get one that is both. And then to get one that's as dynamic and tough as he is in the passing game, kind of reminds me of Bavaro back in the day with the Giants when he had the ball and when he has the ball in his hands. And Bill appreciates the value of a tight end. He drafted Ben Watson in the first round, Daniel Graham. I almost drafted Vernon Davis my first year in New York. I love Vernon because I understood the value of a good tight end and a complete tight end.
Yeah, I think a point of emphasis in their offense is not that they're trying to take it easy on Gronk. What Belichick and Josh McDaniels have done is this year they're getting matched up with their running backs. So it's the tight ends in the running game, but in throwing the ball, watch how they utilize their running backs and the matchups and advantages they get in the passing game there.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.